he has a round pen there for his horses and some other buildings south of the creek. We have been in contact with him. Part of the reason the road extends down and actually straddles the property line and situates itself above the existing sewer transmission line that's to the south there. That was at Mr. Morgan's request because he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to be landlocked and didn't want to have to put an expensive bridge in over the creek to get to that kind of triangular piece that's to the northwest corner of his property there.
And then, so that kind of brings on my second question. So what do you foresee as the word I'm looking for? What do you see on the eastern and southern borders of that park? Is there going to be a big 8-foot retaining wall that delineates the end of the property to the next property? What do you foresee as the fencing or?
Right. So just to the north of where that park is on the eastern border, we definitely have a wall fencing. There's an existing storage facility that approaches where Scotland Drive, and it doesn't quite show up on this particular map, but where Scotland Drive takes a 90 actually at the corner of Walmart and heads north to Alberta. We'll be connecting into Scotland there. At that corner is where the beginning of the mini storage facility is, and so we'd be putting a fence / wall along that for privacy and security. As far as the park, to the east of where that park is currently, that's undeveloped property, but it is zoned for commercial. It may not be the appropriate zoning for it, but there may be some potential to maybe expand the park or to certainly expand the trail system along the creek from that location going to the east. As far as the south, I wouldn't expect any fencing to happen there, and that would open up to kind of the natural riparian area. It's upper riparian, but there's a lot of oak trees, some manzanita and berries that are along the embankments of the creek there.
Great, thank you, appreciate that.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just waiting my turn.
I'm sorry.
So welcome to our community, and thank you for taking the time to invest and come here for the meeting. So what I was thinking about the whole time is that the residents that will be in the community and the park for them, and the turnkey that you might propose, or the fees, or the development impact fees that come with the project. So have you been to any of our parks in the community?
I haven't spent a lot of time, but I did spend quite a bit of time at Freedom, just because of my kids' involvement in softball and tournaments and whatnot that occurred there.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to take a look around and see what goes on in our community. And what we probably look for is something low maintenance but has a high impact and use in the community that will be eye appealing and be used by the community. So as you're thinking about that and tossing that around and coming back over this next year on what you want to do, think about that and look in the community and see what else is going on. And that'll kind of give you an idea of what we have here.
Okay.
We would engage the board in discussions of what's going, when we get closer to that, we'll have this conversation of what it is we would like to see there and fine tune that a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry, before you move on, so fellow board members, and I don't know, Scott and Terry, if you remember, probably about 6 years ago, we had, right before the housing dump, we had a proposal to do a land swap. That was the parcel that was on 28th, correct? Or one of the parcels on 28th, I thought.
I thought it was up in this, like, north.
It wasn't this one, I know.
No,
It was 28th,
Was it
wasn't it?
28?
It was
Yeah.
28.
I remember
330.
storage was.
So what we had proposed at one point, one of the landowners of one of the parcels that faced 28th Street, they wanted to do a land swap with us for a parcel we own. If you go up Watt Avenue, right where it starts turning, right before the Walmart, there's that big emptiness, and you see the back of the school.
Okay, yes.
That's a park site for us.
Okay.
And they wanted to do a swap on that, and I had a lot of concerns at that point, but once the housing thing kind of died, so you remember it being the 28th?
That creek somewhere around
Yeah.
that. This creek running through is Sierra Creek then, right? Like the creek that's at this end of your
think so, but I'm
So
not
that
100%
ties
sure.
into
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
depending on which map you look at, some maps it shows up as Goat Creek, and then
Okay.
it shows up as Sierra Creek,
So
it is one and the same.
that would technically run into our park.
I don't know which way the water flows.
Right, or
I think-
our park runs into
I think their
your
park,
pond,
our
or,
park runs into theirs.
so it is connected, riparian area,
Right.
which has an interesting feature.
All right, anything else on, again, thanks for coming tonight, we appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
We always have questions. Larry, anything else?
Just wanted to give Scott a chance to give the recreation report.
That's fine, I was gonna let him do that.
Okay.
Scott, go ahead.
Well, briefly, I appreciate Diane's kind words about our April 19th event. It was from all observations, a very successful event. But I always like to base my impressions on the vibe and just the mood of the folks that were in attendance. And it was very, very positive, low-key but positive. The kids had a good time, and that's really what it's all about. So, and I pointed out in the report, Mark and Shane did another very, very nice job of putting on putting their unique spin on an event we do year after year. And we had Shane out there spinning
I was gonna say, it's like DJ Shane.
spinning his hits, and he's a DJ on the side. So technically he got paid for being there because he's on payroll. And he said that was my first paying gig. So he was pretty excited about that. The program-wise, swim team, we're very, very pleased with the turnout this year. We're up to, even from the time of the report, we're up to 102 kids compared to 83 last year. We exceeded revenue projections. So I think it's a combination of we retained a lot of kids from last year. There's continuity with Shane on the coaching staff, and the young lady we hired to be our head coach this year, from all reports, and her toughest maybe critic was sitting right next to me. Myra's doing a great job. I said, that's it. I know she's doing a good job. If Terry says she's doing a good job, she's doing a good job.
Shane said the same thing, it was nice to have a solid coach.
She's tough on that.
So, we're excited about that. It's a nice trend that's developing. A couple of things coming up in the next 2 weeks. Well, a week from Saturday, actually. Our little kickoff to summer event that we do over at Freedom. Not a real large-scale event, but staff will be out there handing out activity guides, flyers for day camp and swim. We'll have aquatic staff and day camp staff there to answer parents' questions. We throw up the bounce house and turn on the splash park. And we've got a full park with rentals that day, so we're anticipating a good-sized crowd filtering through, and we'll put activity guides and flyers in every single one of their hands if they'll take them from us. So it's kind of a promotional event for us, but we're looking forward to that. And then the last thing is, about 9 months ago, I attended a meeting that Chuck could not attend down at the County SPCA offices with this Walk with the Doc program. And 9 months ago, yeah, sure, North Highlands will do it. May 17th, well, it's here, and we're excited about it. It's a very, again, it's a low-key event, and what the society does is they send a physician out to local area parks. They do a brief lecture discussion with whoever shows up for the event, talking about the healthy aspects of walking and exercise, and then they take those folks on a quick walk around the facility. So we've got a nice 1-mile loop set up for them, and we've got flyers out. It's up on the signboard, so we'll see who turns out and supports it. So if you're feeling spry on the morning of the 17th, put your sneakers on, come on out and walk with the doc and get some good information.
Sorry, I'll be that way.
Can I ask a question that you didn't report on?
Sure.
Has there been any progress with the North Highlands Jubilee with any of our partners out in the community? I haven't heard anything about it.
John Michelli was in the office about 3 weeks ago, wanted to come in and do a park permit, and I explained to him at that time that we don't, for an event this magnitude, we don't do just a standard, here's your picnic reservation form. So we'll create a special use, special event permit. They'll need to provide some insurance and things that, were taken care of in the past with the other organizers. But from what he told me, they are meeting, and they're meeting regularly. We haven't been invited, but we're going to get ourselves invited to their next organizing meeting. We've made them aware of what our stipulations are in terms of portable restrooms and parking issues and impact on the turf and those type of things. So as far as I know, things are moving forward. And he made it sound like they're getting vendors now and getting ready to put this thing together. So the next step is we'll write a contract, have them come in and provide the paperwork they need to provide. And the park's reserved already.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know if the community was still going forward.
It's a very good question, and I'm not hearing an awful lot, but he assured me that things are progressing. So.
Hey, does anybody else smell smoke?
Barbecue.
I don't know, it doesn't smell like barbecue, it smells like.
It smells like barbecue to me.
It smells smoke. It smells like a cigarette.
See, I smell like wood smoke.
There was someone standing right outside the door just a minute ago.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of electrical.
A lot of times these
No, it's not.
these duplexes over here. I'll check this.
Just to, you know.
Yeah.
We're just
Sorry.
gonna just
To
let it go,
interrupt.
just have some fun.
I don't see smoke,
Yeah,
therefore.
there's a door right
There's
there.
a door exit.
Yeah.
We
We
have
have
alarms. We have
three
alarms.
well-lit,
Right.
exit areas.
Okay,
Sorry.
any other questions for Scott? Greg, go
I
ahead.
do. First of all, I want to go back to Larry's report. Larry, I want to thank you very much for the format of your report.
I was gonna ask you, do you guys?
These are
Good.
wonderful. You're providing us with some great, thorough information where we don't have a lot of questions to ask you. And I just love the new format. So thank you very much for providing that to us.
I haven't had a chance to really sit down and talk to you guys to see if you liked what you had before. If you, I tend to like to give information. I figure the more you have, the better, the more knowledgeable you are. So if it's too much, let me know, and we'll scale it back.
I absolutely love it. And Scott, to the Walk with the Doc program, I've got a good friend who is a assembly member here in the region, who is a medical doctor. He's done these Walk with the Docs in his assembly district. Very successful. The community loves it. And it's a great way to interact with the community, and especially with our park district being involved with this a little bit.
Well, it's one more chance to expose our facility to the general public. Originally I thought we were going to get Dr. Pan. I think that's who you're referring to.
Yes, who he's referring to.
But according to their website, it's Dr. Gutierrez now, so, which is fine. And we'll have staff out there to greet her and help her get set up and on our way.
He just raves about it, and so I just want to thank you for bringing that up.
Most of our counterparts in the region are doing it, so I figured we might as well get involved.
Anyone else for Scott? Okay, Larry, you want to talk about maintenance?
Yeah, I did see in past reports that you had a recreation report, but I didn't see a ongoing maintenance report. So if you don't mind,
used to.
if you don't mind, I like to do that because I have a genuine interest in the maintenance
Right.
side. And so anyway, real briefly, the report talks about the irrigation. We did some disking today. We've been doing some spraying. We turned the irrigation system back on. We're monitoring that closely because of water use. So it's that time of year. We may have to do a double spray this year if we get another rain or two and if we get some late pop-up. But just want to give you a heads up if you see any weeds out there in the playground areas that it's better to spray them than it is to pull them up. You get instant satisfaction of pulling them up, but in the long run you're better off spraying them. The playground equipment, I want to just take a brief moment to talk about, and Greg hit on it just a little bit. We've only looked at 5 or 6 playgrounds so far, but I'll be very honest with you. We have one in particular that is probably going to have to come up really quick, and then the others not too long after that. I had the feeling from looking at them when we went back and looked at when they were installed. My guess was right. About 4 or 5 of them went in about the same time, within a year or two of one another. They're all starting to fail. They're old. They're past their life expectancy. They're well used by the community, and so we want to come back at some point and have provide you with a more in-depth report about each one. Show you some pictures. Show you what we have, and kind of put in a priority order about which ones need to be replaced and when, and then put together with that a funding package of how we're going to go about replacing those. Anything that we can do with Kaboom next year is great. Free is good. And if we can get a couple playgrounds, I'll take one. But if we get more than one, that'd be great. And that'll save the district some money. But to be really honest with you, we have some problems with our playgrounds. And we need to address those sooner than later.